Israelites who were sent to investigate the nature of the land that the sons of Anak used to live on. And this is what they said. And there we saw the giants, the sons of Anak. Which one of the giants? Which come of the giants, sorry. And we were in our own sight as grasshoppers, and so were we in their sight. Never see yourself as a grasshopper. See yourself as somebody who is equally competent and has acquired sufficient proficiency in the law. Nobody gets the law right apart from you. Of course, the judge can declare that you were wrong, but there will be at times that other judges will tell other judges you were also wrong. And those who above all said you were all wrong can even change their mind on review. So let me leave you with my favorite quote from Philippians 4:8. And finally, brethren, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are of good report, if there be any virtue and if there be any praise, think on these things. Thank you for your endurance.
Very inspiring address from His Lordship, Bermaya Okodia Opon, Director of Ghana School of Law. If after listening to this address, you still see yourself as a grasshopper and unable to cope, you have the liberty to leave without leave before the induction. Ladies and gentlemen, let me also introduce His Lordship, Reverend George Ampiaboni. Reverend Ampiaboni is a Justice of the High Court and lecturer, Civil Procedure, Green Hill, Legon Campus. You may have observed that we have deliberately left the introduction of some other personalities. They will be introduced in due course because of the special task they have to perform. But at this juncture, ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce and also invite Mrs. Ifwa Gate, President, Ghana Bar Association, to give us her brief remarks.
Justices of the Superior Court of Judicature, distinguished members of the General Legal Council, the Registrar of the Ghana School of Law, our noble students, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It is my pleasure to address you today and to be part of this significant milestone in your journey to be enrolled as members of our noble profession. Incidentally, when the maiden induction ceremony for the first year students at this campus was held on Saturday, the 23rd of January 2021, I was invited to address the students in my capacity then as the president of the Greater Accra Bar, and by God's grace, now as the president of the Ghana Bar Association. A position which has made me cherish all the more the standards our seniors instilled in us. Otherwise, we would not have made it this far. Initially, it may feel a bit stifling, but ultimately, you will bless the day you embraced an ethical lifestyle. I also wish to commend the headship and management of the school highly for ensuring the continuity of this annual induction ceremony. And I'm certain that in the years to come, its alumnus will bear witness to the impact it has had on their career. Congratulations, dear students. You are moving steadily to the professional level of your legal education. Do not forget that it has only been by God's grace and mercies that we have come this far. You may recall that some started with you, but they are not with you as we speak. You have every cause to be grateful to God and all the people who have helped you on your journey. Also, do not forget to give yourselves a high five. So can I see you give yourselves a high five? Congratulations again. Dear students, the last stretch of this climb is crucial. Lest any false step causes an avoidable slip. After 34 years at the bar, and I recall when we entered the Ghana School of Law, we were not more than 60 in number, and there was only one law faculty at the University of Ghana, Legon. Our population was then around 14 million. Presently, there are about 15 law faculties. And per the most recent call to the bar, the number of lawyers the school churned out in 2024 was 777, a very significant number. And now we have a population of over 35 million. Our numbers have obviously increased. So has our significance in society. And therefore, the need to inculcate in you the necessary knowledge as well as ethical standards you will require to be a fully fledged lawyer whose untainted reputation goes before him or her. Ethical standards are invaluable, and our nation has great need of such gems. The theme for this year's ceremony, the importance of ethics in the advancement of legal education and practice, is a clarion call which ought to be repeatedly trumpeted, lest we forget that where the rule of law is concerned, we stand as the armor bearers. The legal profession is one of the noblest and oldest professions in history, and its ethics must be strictly upheld from legal education to legal practice. Legal ethics are essential for maintaining public trust in the legal system and play a pivotal role in preventing wrongdoing within the legal system. Be mindful of the Legal Profession Conduct and Etiquette Rules 2020, LI 2423, which rules were made on the 1st of October 2020. Get a copy and make it your ethical compass. Start living that life now, if you have not already started living it. It will either make or unmake you, but more importantly, it will keep you far, 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 and far away from the disciplinary committee of the General Legal Council. Remember to choose a good reputation over great riches. They ought to be held in high esteem and valued more than silver or gold. That is what Proverbs 22:1 tells us. The building blocks for a successful career at the bench and the bar should be interlocked at this stage and be based on a firm ethical foundation: moral uprightness, integrity, fairness, honesty, credibility, being law-abiding. These all should adorn you as part of your qualification for enrollment at the bar. And you should also aim to pursue a career at the bench. Learn to use temperate language. And let's learn it now. In the Supreme Court case of Odonko and Mate, number 2, Ghana Bar Reports 1992-93, Part 2, pages 8, 659, and 660, His Lordship, Justice Francois, had this to say in respect of the continued health of our judicial system, reflecting on the insolent broadside comments counsel had fired at judges when their efforts and pronouncements came under the microscope. He said, however emotionally overheated one may become, members of the legal fraternity have a duty to conform to the time-honored practice of comporting themselves, always with decorum and dignity. This must be reflected in the language they employ, which shall be of measured elegance and sobriety. As a profession, we are courteous to everyone, irrespective of our differences. So start practicing your bowing to each other from now, because that is going to be your stock in trade as you move into being a full-fledged lawyer. At court, we always end with the words, most grateful. And sometimes when we are a bit unhappy, we end with much obliged. But at the end of the day, we are grateful. Kindly apply yourselves assiduously to acquire knowledge. Take your internships seriously. That may be the first time working with lawyers. Leave an ethical footprint in that workplace. Conform to the subscribed dress code. And as about we have been talking about this, you are beautifully dressed today. And this should be the standard. This should be your hallmark. Each time you set out, please make sure that the dressing of today remains the same. When a member of the legal profession damages their profession, their reputation, it becomes a challenge restoring it. And we have experienced some of our colleagues who have to go through this. In the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verses 11, it says, even the inanimate objects acquired through ill-gotten wealth will cry out against you and become a constant reminder of the unethical means that you use to acquire that asset. Rather, be poised to be ethical and go the extra mile. It will be over soon. Your efforts will be rewarded with success, and you'll have every cause to thank God for His enabling grace that has seen you through. The Ghana Bar Association stands ready to support you, but the responsibility to imbibe and maintain ethical standards rests with each of you and the choices you make. I cannot take my bow without recalling the words of Granville Williams in his book, Learning the Law, which I'm sure we are all familiar with, where he said, and I quote, let the young men, and indeed the young women, know that if they go about their chosen profession diligently, they'll wake up one morning to realize that they are among the great men or women of their time. Your destiny awaits you. Be ethical even when no one is watching. Let God, through His word, be your guide, and the success you desire will crown your efforts. I wish you all the very best. Thank you, and God bless us all.
Let's do it again for her. I even thought that after listening to our president, you were going to say most grateful. Ladies and gentlemen, we are coming to one of the important stages of our program. But before we do, let me introduce to you Justice Kweku T. Akabuafo. I never knew he had fans like that. Justice Akabuafo is Justice of the Court of Appeal, is lecturer, advocacy, and legal ethics, and the law of evidence. My Lord Akabuafo once jokingly remarked that witness is plural and that one person should be witness. Oh, he told you that too. So we make it witness and witness. All right. Dr. Isaac Annan, lecturer, practical conveyancing and drafting. Doc, please, can you rise? So, all right. Okay. You will meet him in part 2 when we successfully complete part 1. Mr. Osman Yusuf, Esquire, Chief Accountant, Ghana School of Law. I call him Alaji. Alaji, please, can you rise? And all right, okay. He is beautiful and nice and handsome. I'm also instructed that there are executives of the SRC with us. If you are here, can we see you? And all right, okay. So wave to them. You are the president. So you are the presido. All right. Okay, and then the secretary. And you enjoy being the president of the SRC. That's lovely. Ladies and gentlemen, let me invite the registrar of the Ghana School of Law to introduce to us the speaker for this occasion. Madam Registrar, shall we have you?
I would like to stand on all the protocols already established. Our speaker for today is a barrister, solicitor, and professor of law, as well as the Vice Chancellor of the Methodist University and the immediate past rector of GIMPA. He is the founding dean of the Faculty of Law of the University of Cape Coast, a former dean of business at UCC, a former senior lecturer at the Ghana School of Law, and a former director of legal services and investigations at SRAJ, and currently a member of the General Legal Council. His practice, concentration, and scholarship have been in the areas of company and commercial law, corporate governance, constitutional law, and human rights. He has been a lawyer, a board member, and company secretary for several corporate bodies. He has had extensive experience in university administration and governance, serving in various roles as executive head of both private and public tertiary education institutes, member of Council of 6 TEIs, and chairman of such committees for Chancellor, Vice Chancellor, Pro-VC, Provost, Principal, Dean, or Director for 5 TEIs, a number of these utilizing his services for more than one assignment. Being both a practitioner and an educationist, he has been engaged as a resource person on numerous assorted occasions. He had his secondary education at the school, that is Infant Supreme, for O-levels, and St. John's for A-levels. His tertiary education was pursued at the University of Ghana. It's the school. Director went to Paul Jones. He attended the Ghana School of Law and holds a master's LLM from University of Saskatchewan. I hope I got it right. And then Saskatchewan, whatever it is you heard. And then University of Toronto, as well as PG, Director says I say Toronto, or Toronto. My Lord, how do I say it? Toronto. My Lord, Aka says I say Toronto, whatever it is. It is Toronto. You heard it. He has attended numerous short courses abroad, including in France, Netherlands, Greece, Israel, and South Africa. He is married to Dr. Alberta, and they are blessed with 5 children. Ladies, why? Ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome Professor Philip Ebo Bonzi Simpson. Prof, your audience.
Oh, please resume your seats. And Madam Registrar, thank you very much for the kind words of introduction. And in respect of the 5 children and still counting. God's blessings He gives in abundance. And we wish you the abundant blessings of God Almighty. The Director of Legal Education, Justices of the Superior Courts present, the National President of the Ghana Bar Association, and National and Regional Officers present, the Registrar, lecturers, staff of the Ghana School of Law. I recognize SRC represented here by the President and the Secretary. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, inductees, that's the law students present. As the registrar indicated, until you sign the matricula and you are administered the oath, you are in effect persona non grata. Hopefully, in a few minutes, that exercise will be complete and you will be elevated from persona non grata to in statu pupillare, God being your helper. Ladies and gentlemen, all other protocols observed. Let me start off by expressing my profound appreciation to the Director of Legal Education and to the Induction Committee for extending this invitation to me. It is a time of the year to wish you all a very happy and a prosperous New Year. By this time next year, you will all be around, alive, and healthy. You would have progressed one step further in your legal education and in life. And we wish you all the best. Let me also congratulate you for the admission to pursue the professional legal education program at the Ghana School of Law. Your experience, even with this cohort, should tell you a little about life. Because amongst this cohort will be some of you who, upon first try at the entrance examination, made it. Such is life. Some made it upon second try. Some were third time lucky. And some of you are here after several attempts. But that is life. And it has pleased the Lord that whether it was after one attempt or after several attempts, you are all here. How you came belongs to your past. Make the best of your opportunities here and add prayers so that you will all exit. But it is also possible that you may belong to the same cohort and not exit as a cohort. That too is life. But perseverance always pays, and corners need not be cut. I have got some very good fond memories of this place. First as a student, and later on as a lecturer. I entered the Ghana School of Law after a year of turbulence. In those days, the revolutionary eras, so we came a little late in 1984 and completed in 1986. So this is about 41 years since we were in the position that you were with. I would want each of you to look around and see each other's faces, because amongst you, you will have a future Chief Justice, as our cohort was privileged to have. You will have amongst you a future Speaker, as our cohort was privileged to have. Into the public sector of legal administration or private legal practice, will branch into military or police service. The applications of the law know no bounds, and the practitioners who will apply the law are your own classmates. Don't look down on anyone or despise anyone, because the people who you will meet as you are climbing are likely to be the same people you will meet as you get up there and you climb in a reverse direction. Whilst we were here too, we were privileged to have a situation where we encountered all manner of students. A decade, 2 decades, and counting plus, amongst our former students, and therefore it is not only amongst our classmates, some are seniors and some are juniors. Amongst our former students, we've been privileged to have an Attorney General, justices of the Superior Courts, special prosecutor, professors and deans of law. And I say this not lightly, but to encourage all of us to recognize that the small girl or boy of today will be the big woman or man of tomorrow. And how we relate to everyone, our lecturers, our peers, our students, and strangers alike, will determine our own future. The good book reminds us that someone ministered unto strangers and didn't know that they were angels. And their blessings came as a result of how they interacted with people. As you are here, take your human relations and your interactions seriously. Do not, under any circumstance, puff yourself up or step on anyone. The law school is preparation ground. It prepares you for a life in the law. The topic that I'll be speaking to very briefly will be the importance of ethics in the advancement of legal education and practice. The importance of ethics in the advancement of legal education and practice. I associate myself with all of the remarks of the Director of Legal Education and the National President of the Ghana Bar Association. Let us note from the topic that we are talking about ethics in legal education and in legal practice. We will require legal education and legal qualifications to practice. So this is a necessary rite of passage. If you don't get the education here with its foundations from elsewhere, you can never practice. But it does not mean that once you are called to the bar and admitted as a solicitor, your education ceases, because legal education is continuous. So I want you to take away that ethics is important as a student. Ethics is important in practice. Education is important to get to practice. And education is important while in practice. You'll have to educate yourself, self-learning and self-discipline, informally and formally in those programs, for example, that will be organized by the profession. You are preparing to practice. And what is your notion of what legal practice is all about before we even apply ethics to it? And when I talk about ethics, I will be very brief, and I will defer to everything that you shall learn in your lecture room under the tutelage of Mrs. Victoria Bath, the National Vice President of the Ghana Bar Association, and one of your lecturers. Your legal practice should not be considered as limited to perhaps the three obvious areas. You'll be a barrister appearing in the courts, arguing out matters on behalf of your client, the clients that you make for yourself, or the clients that your seniors will give you their briefs to handle. That's one area of practice, an obvious area. Most of you may have that in mind. We have a fused and not a split profession, but it is also not uncommon that people will have a practice area where they would like to listen to whatever their clients have to say and advise them, write written opinions, draft all manner of legal documents, conveyances, wills, and the like. Another obvious area of practice in the areas where they have split professions, more of solicitor work. And after you have done the lawyering in a private or in a public space for some time, if you are so inclined or if you are invited and you accept to be elevated to the bench, where people will bring their various matters, causes to you, and you will sit in judgment. Three obvious areas. But you will discover that in the fullness of time, some of you may branch into a very important area of law reporting, selecting key judgments out of the manifold ones out there, judgments of a superior court, reading them, correcting where necessary grammar and syntax, checking the citations and making sure that the propositions that they claim those cases report are indeed the case, compiling them and publishing them. Add law reporting to the menu of things out there that you will do. There is a Law Reform Commission whose remit is largely legal research, and in the light of contemporary developments, empirical and juristic, in the jurisdiction and abroad, may make proposals for the change through statute of the law. Think about the Law Reform Commission as an avenue for some of you. Think about what the lecturers on this side of the dais are doing as an important part of legal practice, where we mentor, teach, and guide the younger direction, and put our thoughts together to think through things and write articles and treatises to advance the development of the law. Law librarianship is also law practice. If you are called to the bar and your particular interest is in the materials and the literature that the profession requires, students, lawyers, judges, that is your chosen area. You may not necessarily be in court every day. So I wish to leave you with a broader impression about the scope of areas that you'll be practicing, and don't think that you'll be in some fancy office in a legal department of a corporate firm, or the Attorney General's department, or a private legal office, or for that matter, the bench. There are far many more areas of application in addition to this: legislation, ADR, and administrative tribunals. I said before, the law school is preparation ground for legal practice. You do not learn, pass, and forget. You learn, retain, and learn, and retain, and abandon old views where you discover that you were wrong, or the initial inclination is per incuriam. Learning is continuous. Having said that, why is ethics paramount? And in wanting to explain the whys, I would link the law school experience with the law practice experience. I will start off by saying that the end does not justify the means. It is not because, for example, you want to win a case that you will employ any measure. And it is not because you want to pass an examination that you will employ any measure. The law student who will see a lecturer to influence the grades, well, if that student becomes a lawyer, which I hope not, will definitely try and see a judge to influence the outcome of the case. You are in school. Yours is to prepare, avail yourself, and pass. And if you make unholy alliances for the sake of grades, you are a danger to the profession and to society. The law student who will free ride on colleagues. There's an assignment for a team of 3, 5, or 10, group work. You don't participate in that assignment, and you want to reap the benefits of the result. That person, if they become a lawyer, which I hope not, will slack in any brief, and that will be most briefs, that will require teamwork, because responsibility is assigned then we come together and put our thoughts together for the collective position. The law student who is late or absent for classes, and that perhaps being an unfortunate characteristic. Well, if that person becomes a lawyer, and I hope such a person will not, but such a person, if you continue in this way, you'll be absent from court or you'll be late, giving all manner of bogus excuses. If there is any client consultation, you'll be late. If you are required to be at a board for which your professional experience is required, you will be late. What you demonstrate here, you will demonstrate there. And if you have any of those tendencies, you shall repent and not carry it beyond today. The law student who inserts the name of a colleague as present when that colleague is absent and will sign for that person is a dangerous law student who need not progress. And I pray that that person will fail. Or if you must pass, you will repent. Because such a tendency of inserting names and signing for people, if you become a lawyer, you are likely to approach the clerks, to doctor the records there, retrieve things that have been filed or cause them to be misfiled, or have exhibits removed from the docket. The law student who, when you have issues, particularly academic issues with your grades, will opt as a first recourse to a politician or to the media to make your case out, is a potential danger to society. Because such a person, if you become a lawyer, which I hope you will not, you will be the first person to have your cases tried in the court of public opinion. Any case, you go and see a politician or you go and see the journalists and give them your doctored version of events. The law student who will rely on artificial intelligence and technology and its tools are helpful, but they can be dangerous. And so you rely on artificial intelligence for your thesis, for your essays, for your assignments. You don't cross-check them and own what you draft. You are a danger. Plagiarism is oozing out of your brains and your hands. And in other jurisdictions, senior lawyers have been disciplined, some disbarred, because submissions filed were a total caricature of the law. I say all of this because ethics is not a subject to be taught. Ethics is a life to be lived. And law school is the preparation ground where we will infuse these things into you. You would leave here knowledgeable in the law and ethical in your ways. In other words, it matters how you conduct yourself here in law school, preparing to be future legal practitioners in all of its manifold dimensions. The profession is a learned one. Amongst the non-bench fraternity, learned friends, amongst the bench, they are learned and respected brothers and sisters. Learned. And you cannot claim the title of being learned and earning your keep from being learned if you are not learned and not willing to learn. You want the qualifications, you don't want the effort. Be diligent and study very hard and actively participate in any group assignment. Be thorough, be diligent, and avoid any kind of examination malpractice. I do not know if I've ameliorated my view on the matter. I believe every kind of examination malpractice is a capital offense for which the sanction should be outright expulsion without eligibility for consideration, either at all or no sooner than after 5 years. In some parts, when others are sentenced to life, it's without eligibility for parole, or eligibility for parole only after 20 or 30 years. For the practical reasons that I said, and because the law school is the preparation ground for the practice and the life of law, I maintain the view any kind of examination or practice and egregious ethical breach should be treated as a capital punishment. In a different capacity, we will consider matters on their own strength, but know my bias. And my bias is that if you play the fool in an unethical way, my sympathies are not inclined in your favor. I want us to remember at all times that, and I'll repeat what the national president of the bar said, good knowledge of the law is a necessary condition, but it is not a sufficient condition. How you will present yourself and conduct yourself matter. Dress properly. You cannot be a law student and you will dress anyhow. Proper dressing out of your home is necessary. How you will dress at home is between you and your God, but it is home and the bathroom and the bedroom and the dressing room that are the places to practice to step out. So dress properly, speak properly. You can't be a lawyer and you will be talking anyhow. Unfortunately, in the last 10 to 15 years of the Fourth Republic, I have been in a position to observe what I believe many of you have observed. In matters of political discourse, particularly between the faithfuls of the NDC and the MPP, there has been unfortunate, intemperate language unbecoming of lawyers everywhere. They have done this and demonstrated it in the media, through different outlets, and even in court. We may have our differences. You will be championing the cause that you ought to champion, but speak properly, as you must dress properly, and conduct yourselves well. As law students, and in future as lawyers, you will attend different kinds of events, banquets included. The abundance of the presence of food and drink should not lead you to gluttony and drunkenness. You will see those opportunities. Behave properly. Let me conclude, therefore, with these remarks reminding you that ethics matters. The law school is a preparation ground. Your comportment, deportment matter. And in all of these things, as you look around and appreciate your colleagues, your teachers, remember at all times that there is a God who holds us all together. May the good Lord himself bless you and keep you, and I wish you well. Thank you.
Shall we do it again for Professor Philip Ebu Bonzi Simpson? Before we came, I was telling him that he has been bought several times, sold, gone missing, stolen. When we were at the faculty, we came across Prof's book. It was a much sought after book, The Law of Contract. It was a must-have book, Law of Contract. And occasionally you will hear a student say, have you bought Bonzi Simpson? So, Prof, you were bought. Somebody has stolen my Bonzi Simpson. Or not one. Prof, thank you so very much. We are coming to the climax of the program, the most important. This segment is solemn and spiritual. But before then, let me introduce Her Ladyship, Akosia Esiama Christopher. Her Ladyship is lecturer, criminal procedure, Accra Main and UPSA campuses. She's my sister and the wife of my brother and my mate at the Ghana School of Law. Ladies and gentlemen, let me now invite Her Ladyship, Justice Abena Esuama Opon, Justice of the High Court, and her duty is to lead us to take the oath. This is not the time for giggling. It's very important. As I said, it's solemn and spiritual. Shall we have my lady conduct the swearing of the oath? Shall we all rise? And at this juncture, we dress properly and fully by putting on the stole. Those who have it, if you do not have it and you are at the fore, you may go back. I wish I could say so. All right. Okay. So let's all put it well and nicely. You have 30 seconds, to put it on. Those who are struggling, just let somebody assist you. And then ensure that you have a copy of the oath with you. You are stopped from signing the oath. You must take it before you sign. So if you have signed already, you must come for a fresh copy. My lady, please.
You can also find the oath on page 81 if you don't have the sheet. And please repeat after me and insert your name where appropriate. I, having been admitted to the Ghana School of Law to pursue professional legal training, do solemnly pledge to uphold all the rules and regulations governing the course of study at the law school. I pledge to uphold the standards, dignity, and ethics required of a law student, both in and outside the school, studying to be enrolled into the legal profession. I further pledge to uplift the name of the Ghana School of Law in all my endeavors, and to contribute my quota as a law student to the legal profession. So help me God. Congratulations.
You can give each other a high five once again. Now you have been fully inducted. It's a rite of passage. You can say to yourself that you are now a fully fledged member of the Ghana School of Law. Shall we be seated? Let me invite the class rep, the representative of the class, to give the vote of thanks. Okay, Ansa, Mr. Ansa, are you the one? All right. Oh, let's give it to him.
Before your rep speaks, may you please accept our apology. Especially, it goes to those who could not receive their staffs. We are very sorry. We got disappointed by the delivery people. But as soon as possible, we should receive them, and we will extend the invitation to you to pick them up. So once again, we are sorry and accept our apologies. Thank you.
The Director of Legal Education, Justices of the Superior Court, President of the Ghana Bar Association, lecturers, registrar, distinguished guests, fellow students. On behalf of the incoming class of 2026, I am honored to deliver this vote of thanks. Foremost thanks to the Most High God, who makes all things beautiful in His time. We are grateful to the General Legal Council and the Ghana School of Law for providing us with this opportunity to pursue our dreams of becoming lawyers. We acknowledge the rigorous selection process and are humbled to have been chosen. To the Director of Legal Education, we appreciate your warm welcome and inspiring words. Your leadership and vision for the school are a source of motivation to us. We also express our gratitude to the administration and all members of the Ghana School of Law for their commitment to our academic and professional development. We look forward to learning from your wealth of experience and expertise. To our distinguished guest speakers, we thank you for sharing your insights and experiences with us. Your words of wisdom and encouragement have challenged us to strive for excellence. We appreciate the efforts of the organizing committee who have worked tirelessly to ensure a smooth and successful induction ceremony. Finally, to you, my fellow students, I welcome you all to the Ghana School of Law family. Let us work together, support one another, and make the most of this. Thank you all once again, and may God bless us as we embark on this exciting journey. Thank you. All right.
Thank you very much. We shall now have the closing prayer, and then we would have refreshment. The protocols are that after the closing prayer, you will continue standing, and then the dignitaries shall leave before we disperse for the refreshment. Hussein Mubarak Zakaria Sheikh, Director Imam Hussein Islamic Center, Ghana, member Ghana Muslim Students Association, Ghana School of Law. Sheikh, you're welcome.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين اللهم كن لوليك الحجة ابن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك طوعا وتمتعه فيها طويلا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. In the name of Allah, if I say Allah, I mean God. In Aramaic, it is said Elah. In Hebrew, it is said Eli. So if I say in the name of Allah, I mean in the name of the Almighty Creator of the universe and all that exists. Most gracious, most merciful, we praise Thee. We acknowledge that You are the sustainer of our existence. You are the sustainer of the worlds. We give You thanks. We give You praises. And most importantly, we put before You the lives of our mothers and fathers herein present, our colleagues, the staff and ourselves. We say to you, O God, be merciful upon us, as you usually do. We call unto you, O Allah. This is a journey that we have dreamt about. Today, it is no more a dream. It is a reality. We call unto you to continue to bless us and be merciful upon us, so that in the leadership of our mothers and fathers here in present, we would be together as one family, successful at the end. We call on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to also give us retentive memory, so that when we learn, the fear, the anxiety would not take it away and let us forget, so we may pass our exams all together and be successful. I would want to relate a verse of the Quran with you, wherein Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يُغَيِّرُ مَا بِقَوْمٍ حَتَّى يُغَيِّرُوا مَا بِأَنفُسِهِمْ. Verily, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not change the situation, the circumstances of a nation or of a group of people until they make the necessary and required efforts to change their own situation, and then the divine support would also come. On this note, I relate to you a maxim which says quid pro quo, meaning that something for something. If you want to succeed, if you want to pass, give in sacrifice, give in effort, give in that sleepless night, and God above will see you through. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Thank you very much, Sheikh Hussein Mubarak Zakaria, students of Ghana School of Law, Director Imam Hussein Islamic Center, who has put Latin inside prayer. Ladies and gentlemen, kindly indulge me. We will be taking a couple of pictures. Please be seated and observe the dignitaries take pictures. Look at how lawyers and judges take pictures. You are not going to take the pictures some. Just sit there and observe us. So we'll have only the dignitaries, after which we shall have the dignitaries together with the class reps and executives of the SRC. The others, you can be taking selfies.